forged Greg
Hey y'all, Kiki, what are we doing?
in exchange for a sentence of 18
No.
years in prison. Michelle had taken
What
the
are
deal
you?
versus going through a long trial and maybe getting a life sentence. However,
Yeah,
just when it
because I
looked
don't-
like Michelle would go to prison,
On the eve of the sentencing portion of
Which one got first? The top or
they
the base?
presented us with a doctor's report and
Move,
a
girl.
sonogram that indicated that Michelle Williams was now pregnant with twins.
Greg's family
I'm gonna be
figured it was
using
just
the
another of
UV
Michelle's
jail. I'm gonna be
many
using
lies.
the jail.
I said, oh crap. In fact, Greg's ex-wife claimed that Michelle had had her tubes tied after giving birth to Greg's daughter. There would have been no way she could have gotten pregnant. And if it was a lie, the prosecutors were taken in by it.
We agreed to defer sentencing until the time that she gave birth.
But when months passed with no sign of a baby bump, the prosecutors knew they'd been had. The doctor's report and the sonogram were forgeries. She made
I'm gonna be using the
It was really
UV
for no
jail.
purpose other
If
than
it's
to delay the sentencing.
like open there, I
And
don't
on
think it's
September
always open.
23rd, 2014, Michelle was back in court. However, she wasn't there for her sentencing hearing.
Where's
The
the?
deal was it had vaporized.
Oh my gosh.
Almost 3 years after Michelle had called 911 to report that an intruder had shot Greg, she was finally standing trial for his murder, a development that her family surprisingly welcomed. We all sat on Greg's side of the courtroom. You know, like there was nobody on there for her at all. In his opening statement, he told the jury there was no mystery about why
So I'm finna
Michelle
just let
had
this
killed
dry.
her husband.
Motives.
Up under the lights.
Tried and true, age-old, money. Greed.
Not only would the murder save her from having to admit how much of Greg's money she'd already blown,
She was spending it faster than he could make
I'm
it.
finna change.
she also stood to collect a substantial amount of life insurance.
It was in excess of $500,000. It was about $650,000.
In the defense's open, Michelle's attorney said the investigators' initial suspicion had been correct.
It was a suicide.
And while they admitted that she had concocted the intruder story, the defense said that Michelle had only done it to shield her daughter from the truth that her father had taken his own life.
She acted to protect her child.
However, stressing how Michelle was a mother only increased the shock when the prosecution called one of their first witnesses to the stand, her son, Andrew.
Everyone has the reaction that the state wants them to have. What kind of mother would have a son that would come in here and testify against her?
Oh my gosh, I'm putting this in real loud.
ever done.
Immediately after Greg's death, Andrew had stood behind his mother. But according to his testimony, his mother had done something to change that.
Michelle asked me to
I had the
call some friends and
jail
have them
is
frame Kathy.
it's really not moving.
Kathy
Oh yeah,
Williams,
it's just more
Greg's ex-wife.
time for me to
She
take
tried to
it.
get Andrew to call the
It's
police
dry.
and say I have a sweatshirt with gum residue on it. And when he refused to frame Greg's ex-wife, Andrew said that his mother had shifted her focus to a new target. She tried to blame her own son for the murder.
Trying to make me believe that my brother could have been the one that broke into the house and killed Greg. She just started making mentions to family friends like, Lee's been drinking a lot lately, or Lee's acting crazy, his PTSD is out of control.
Y'all know what makes
And
me
when she
because
did that, Andrew said he realized the awful truth that his mother had killed Greg.
I was like,
we can
I'm
spray it
done.
on
I can't play this game
even
anymore.
faster.
And I never
We're gonna go
spoke
to
to her
this guy's
again.
room, but we don't have no right there.
Andrew's testimony was extremely
So-
damaging for the defense.
He said a lot of sensational things when he was on the stand.
Worse, his claim that she had tried to blame anyone and everyone for Greg's murder sounded awfully familiar.
We had the videotape statement given the morning of the murder at the Keller Police Department.
And when they played it for the jury, the prosecutors underscored how Michelle had started out insisting that it was the mysterious intruder who supposedly shot Greg. But then, when it was obvious that the story wasn't working, she had
But
taken
y'all
the
got
easy
more
out
almost
that the
in
investigator
there.
dangled in front of her.
Yeah, one changing story after another for credibility becomes a real issue in the minds of any juror.
But would questions about her credibility be enough to ensure a conviction? Especially when the defense was offering what they claimed was a plausible alternative.
Remember, all they have to do is introduce some reasonable doubt into the case, and all it takes is one juror.
I'm finna add some colors, so.
When the defense started presenting their case, they announced that
Oh
they
my
wouldn't be
gosh.
calling Michelle to the stand.
We felt like because of
I want the blue.
the amount of prior statements that
Whatever
we didn't want to run the risk of creating more
I
confusion.
want that color blue.
Instead,
I
they
want.
focused the jurors' attention on the physical
I don't want
evidence, and
black.
specifically what had initially convinced the
I'm finna just
investigators
do-
that Greg had been murdered.
This is
The
color
fact that the
pink.
fatal
Y'all,
gunshot
y'all can see
wasn't
it.
a contact
That color
wound.
pink.
Distance determination of the gun from the head was approximated at 6 to 24 inches, so it's a huge range.
I want to know
And the
what other
defense
people got for
argued that
Christmas.
the
Comment down
shortness of that
below
range, a mere
what y'all
6
got for
inches,
Christmas.
didn't necessarily
Yeah, that's
rule
what I
out
wanna
a
know.
suicide.
It's not impossible for
What
sure.
other video
If you
got for
shoot yourself from
Christmas?
6 inches, that was a
Some
potential big
people
problem.
did nothing for Christmas.
Michelle's videotaped statement also contained a ready explanation for the lack of gunshot residue on Greg's hands.
She admitted that she'd used Clorox wipes on her husband's hand. That explains why there might not be gunshot residue on his hand.
However, according to the defense, there was physical evidence that supported the theory that Greg had taken his own life.
There were a lot of steroids found at the home. We knew from witnesses that he'd been doing that for a long time.
They tried to suggest that might have made him suicidal.
And we know that there are certain types of psychosis and depression that come along with that
Y'all
type
know
of
y'all
extended
is another
use.
$5
Finally, in his
for my
closing
family, but
remarks,
if not, I
Michelle's
chose the
attorney
regular price.
argued that
It's
it
gonna
simply
be
made no sense
to
for
the
Michelle
mix.
to kill Greg
I
because
just
she
got this
actually
music
had
yesterday
nothing
for
to gain
Christmas.
from his death.
Greg was Michelle's golden goose. He brought in over $500,000 in 2000 and over $800,000 in 2011. That's more than almost double what the insurance had covered. So what is the motive?
Coming up, Michelle's sons struggled to accept the verdict.
I can't even explain the feeling that I had.
But would it be a conviction or an acquittal?
Honestly, it could have went either way.
I'm going to the page. Yo, honey, I'm gonna ask something about it.
For a smile that's always ready. Crest Beauty White removes 95% of stains in just 3 days. Crest, #1 toothpaste brand in America.
Make me an intro.
Challenges we have as parents
Make
is
me an
finding an
intro.
outlet or something that your kids enjoy doing.
For YouTube. Let me add glitter to this before I do anything else. I don't even know what glitter I want, but I'm putting in pink. Look at that blue box. Ow. This video is literally, yeah, this is how to nail it.
Pinch of fun, and finally, a delicious touch.
There's how to nail it. I gotta go back over it. Wait,
Nutella.
it's gel, the alcohol, and
Open laptop, go to ourtime.com, look for free.
yes, I'm gonna start
It's
it.
easy to take a look on Our
No.
Time, the fastest growing dating site for
Let me
people over
move
50.
this and this because I gotta be good. What's another little
Only
stuff?
Olive, the #1 recommended
When
brand by
you
dermatologists, and 100% free of perfumes and dyes. Try it now, all free
It's
clear.
just a
The
fat
#1
ball
detergent
here,
brand for sensitive skin.
done. Made the thing was sticky, so keep it on the drive, you know that we can.
Factionals, the world's most adaptable couch. Or to schedule a private shopping appointment, visit lovesac.com. Baconator is the ultimate bacon cheeseburger that's got all other cheeseburgers feeling like. And now with the breakfast Baconator, we're shaking and waking up your breakfast, bringing that big bacon energy all day long. So get to Wendy's and always be baconating.
In a scenic city, the friendliest people, a holiday tradition makes everyone
Yes,
feel
so I'm just
for the
about to
magic
go back
time
over
of
these
year
with
is a
these
sight to behold. Something so marvelous it must be shown and not told. At the end of the day, love is what matters most. More than gifts, more than candy, love is first and foremost. As you celebrate the season, we wish you joy.
If any of the people that see this that go to my school
EPB and our team.
come to my house, I can do your nails. Hopefully y'all can make appointments. Y'all can text me at IG. I'm gonna make a nail page.
Project management for your floor. From our store to your floor, warranted. Ottawa Flooring Gallery, Mountain View Road in Ottawa.
You can do more with helmets than you think. See the possibilities at helmets.com.
That's a Sasquatch.
What's this?
Don't mess with other snacks.
Well,
Choose
you gonna
Jackman's
put the
turkey
deep
made
light
with
out and
100% beef.
Mom can see better than anyway.
That's great, but how can we afford it? Steve's right now, his equipment. Or
Cut this off.
I'll take it and put it on the table. You ain't gonna be able to see it from all the way over there.
I still got the light on.
Mm-hmm.
I said I'm good. I can walk like this. I still got this light on.
When the jury in Michelle Williams'
This is
murder
the
trial announced that it had reached a verdict, the
base
45-year-old appeared confident of an
And after I
acquittal.
get finished with that, I'll go at the top.
Plans
It's
to
Yeah.
bring them out to eat, what they were to do because she started walking out of the courtroom.
She was charged with the October 2011 murder of her husband, Greg. A death the defense claimed was actually a suicide. And right up to the moment the verdict was read, no one quite knew what to expect.
Honestly, I mean, it could have went either way.
So which would it be? Suicide or murder?
The jury finds her guilty of murder.
gonna be
Michelle was
murder.
devastated by the decision.
She was very emotional when the guilty verdict came down.
I think she was surprised.
Michelle's son Andrew, whose testimony had played such an important role in the prosecution's case, was convinced that justice had been done. But that didn't mean he or his brother were happy about the verdict.
I can't even explain the feeling that I had. It wasn't happiness, but it wasn't sadness. It was nothing. You can finally move on, but at the same time, it's like, that's my mother.
And their mother will be going to prison for a long time.
The jury has assessed a term of confinement in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice for 60 years.
She's eligible for parole in 30 years.
But until then, she'll be in prison, doing time for a crime her attorneys maintain she didn't commit.
I think it boiled down to a character assassination. I think that she was convicted of being a person that was difficult to like.
Or was it, as the prosecutors maintain, merely the fact that she had been difficult to believe?
She would have been in much better shape if she decided on a single lie, even if it was not a particularly reasonable or logical lie. Then
No,
to
they-
engage in the inconsistency, she was her own worst enemy in this case.
And according to her family, it started well before she put a gun to her husband's head and pulled the trigger.
She was trying to be someone that she wasn't. Someone
Yeah,
better,
this is from
someone
the good doing it
that lived this
again.
glamorous life. No matter what situation it was, whatever she needed to do to get what she wanted, she was going to do it.
Even if it meant that someone had to die.
I really think she thought she was just gonna get the life insurance money and then just do whatever she wanted to do.
exhumed her body. I have never seen anything like that.
If you dug on, I'll help dig.
A murderous crime spree. Police had spotted a body on a hilltop. There's the second victim down the hillside.
Within days, the victim,
He had been shot numerous times.
and then we have another shooting. Banged on the door. That's it. I'm a police officer. I've been shot. There was no way of knowing how bad this was going to get.
No,
We
not
began
too
making
bad.
the cases.
You better move for a waste.
He identifies two individuals, their brothers. Two brothers who were so cold, calculating.
We gotta find these guys or the body count's gonna go up.
So what they are there? Y'all go shop with. I forgot her name. Y'all go shop with her. I think I'm gonna put it up
On the morning
there,
of October 12th,
right there, put it down
1992,
here.
I was assigned to the Riverside Police Air Support. It was a routine patrol, and as we took off to the south, we flew over an area called Flat Top,
Just
towards
me.
Lake Matthews.
Baby,
Then we see a station wagon that's parked
don't
atop a flat
know
top.
how.
As we approach the vehicle, we
Right off
turn
right.
over it, and then we see lying down next to it
Now it's
a
time
body.
to fall it
The
down.
body, even from 300 feet,
Time
just
to
had an odd look to it,
down.
and it appeared that he was deceased.
Babes, I just
What you Received a telephone call. Riverside police had spotted a body on a hilltop out in the Lake Matthews. I get there,
Okay, take it off.
helicopter crew was standing there, and they were in the car near the passenger side. They prone body, laying face down.
No, then.
As we get closer,
Where was food at?
there was a young man who had a wound in his back.
Right, bye.
I could see a gunshot wound that he had, middle of the back, a single
Well,
wound.
y'all, that's ugly. I'm gonna start over.
There was a spent shell casing
Thank
from
you,
a
sir.
small caliber type weapon that was possibly a good clue.
I got the whole
Quick
clear
search
stuff.
in the surrounding areas for some evidence.
An investigator pointed down the hillside and said, "There's a second victim laying down there."
But we're just fitting, so we're gonna
We
wait.
found this body about halfway down the hill.
Got it going up a tour.
Numerous times.
Made it where the clip go. Scully, go in there with my mama.
You know how to work it?
What?
You got to keep it. That was a good indicator that he had been running down the hill and had fallen, possibly even being chased. There was no decaying of the body, so it seemed that the shootings
I
happened
got the wrong
within
kind.
hours of them being found.
I got the
We checked
wrong.
the pockets of the
It's not
individual
real.
to see if
This
there
is
was any
five.
wallets or any car keys.
So this is
We didn't find
3.
anything like that, and it looked like the car
What you not cooking?
ransacked.
No, no, you got to turn on the grease.
Pulled out.
It is on.
As we're processing
Look,
the
it's
crime
what you finna
scene,
cook.
we spotted
Them chicken
this
things that's in there.
distinctive tennis shoe
Cause that's what I'm eating.
was at both locations up
Well,
top
I
and
cooked you
down
some.
below.
Think.
Neither victim
We're
had
doing
on
it.
that type of a tennis shoe.
They ran the license plate of the vehicle at the scene and found that it came back to Joey Mads.
Look at her
They pulled his DMV
Oh.
photograph and realized that the victim
her
at the
sister.
top of the hill was indeed
She
Joey
ain't my little
Mads.
sister.
Later that evening,
That's your cousin.
identified the second victim down the hill
We
as
just
Timothy Jones.
Police came to my door. They told me that my brother was found murdered up in Lake Matthews.
Get
I was just
Bye-bye.
stunned,
Yeah.
You know.
in shock. really had a clue to who would hurt Timmy, because Timmy, he was the kindest, most sweetest person there was.
The police had asked me if I had a brother named Joey Vance, and I said yes. And they said he appears to be a victim of a homicide. It was just horrible.
The whole thing.
My brother, he was everything. Absolutely everything.
There's stuff on my hand.
Joey and Timothy were
You
best
take it,
friends
Mom.
for 15 years.
Mama.
Joey was a very fun, loving, spirited person, and Timothy was the very same.
They were inseparable, like
Just about to use the power, because I could not
they
do
were
the
trying to make
jail.
something of themselves.
Jail is.
They were still young, still had a lot of life.
I don't know what kind of Bible it is.
After
No,
talking
I'm just gonna
with
use
the
it
family,
and get the
I
one.
went to Joey and Timothy Jones' background. Neither victim had any contact with any law enforcement. They had nothing in their background as far as criminal contact. They were both clean. We were coming to the conclusion that this was a random shooting, possibly a robbery.
If this was a random shooting, you start to wonder if you're going to be able to solve the case. The perpetrators were going to remain at large until something further developed.
The evening of the 13th, I went to the coroner's office. They found both individuals had been shot with a small caliber .22 firearm. It was a same caliber shell casing found laying next to the vehicle on the hilltop.
Later that evening, photographs from the crime scene were examined by the forensic experts.
The forensic expert identified tennis shoe tracks at the crime scene as the British Knight make of tennis shoe.
The person who was wearing those had been very close to the boys when they had been shot.
We were following all the leads we could in the days after the homicides, but we're reaching a dead end.
It was going to take a little bit more
This one is the very
investigating to figure out
one
who
is the
these
very
suspects were.
We needed to know who was doing these kinds of things.
Stop.
There was no way of knowing how bad this was going to get.
Orlando Romero and Christopher Sell were siblings. Their parents, Orlando Romero Sr. and Maria, married young in 1968.
Orlando
Yeah, if y'all want to try to this, I'm gonna do it. I'll flip it in the thing. I'm just gonna put
The
it
brothers,
in
they did
the,
not have the easiest
and
upbringing.
it's just gonna form like that.
There was
That's a
drug
triangle
abuse,
perfect.
alcohol abuse,
Then
physical
there's
abuse going on that the brothers were victims of.
It's a household that's beset with violence.
I don't know what the ladies.
Maria divorced Mr. Romero pretty early in the boys' lives.
She also was battling her own demons. She had some issues with substance abuse as well.
In 1976, when Christopher is 2 and Orlando is 5, Maria, in a violent episode, slashes Christopher's face. Not long after, the children are removed from her custody. For 3 years, the brothers bounce around in family and foster care.
There was really this sense of lack of stability for both of these siblings.
Essentially, each other. So Orlando and Christopher.
I hope when they already see this.
1979.
'Cause I need
When the
very
boys are
much.
8 and 5, Maria regains custody of her
I
children,
really actually don't
whom she
think
marries,
when
Philip himself,
it
who is a positive influence on the
with
boys.
my finger.
He would take the boys fishing. He was kind to them.
He treats them as his own, even to the point that Christopher decided that he would take on his stepfather's last name as he got older.
From all indications, was a good dad to them. Couldn't turn them around. The damage had already been done by then.
Orlando, as he grows older, he begins showing signs of violence and anger and starts using drugs as a teenager. And Christopher starts following in the steps of his older brother.
There were known to be troublemakers in school, and as they grew up, they had trouble staying out of trouble.
By 1990, Orlando is arrested for carjacking, but gets off relatively late. So he decides to leave the neighborhood, move to Northern California to stay with relatives and try to get his life together. With Orlando gone, Christopher finds a job, and he too tries to get his life together. The turning point was in 1992.
I actually like it in the
Orlando moves back to Riverside County. Being back together, Orlando and Christopher brought out the worst in each other.
Once again, drugs, crime, and violence became the solution to any problem, any challenge.
They began committing crimes for thrill, to support their habits. It started small, but it escalates. A path from which there was no turning back.
Riverside County was dealing with a murderous crime spree.
The shotgun round hit me. I saw the blood on my hand and said, I can't stay here.
If it can happen to a professional law enforcement officer, it makes you feel like it can happen to anybody.
I think my dad's a psychopath.
Hold on, let me just put this back up in the
He's a cold-hearted murderer.
This homicide was brutal. It was just unexpected. They blatantly tried to set me up on a murder charge.
The idea that the killer might show up to this memorial, we knew we had our guy.
She was chained up, beaten, raped, and finally killed.
We needed to exhume the body.
And then do something. And a bunch of it ends up in Florida. This was very natural. The way she was feeling, how violent it was, just unspeakable. Cold, calculated, killing. I've never seen anything like this.
9 nights of twisted killers, and it all begins with Florida man. 7th of January.
Yes. Please.
Carry out 3 topping Domino's pizzas for $7.99 each. Try Domino's Carside Delivery. Just check in online and we'll quickly and safely bring out your food, so you don't have to get out to get carry out. Like Denny here.
Hey Hamlet, I like your PJs.
You don't know how this works, do you?
It's my first day. You coming?
Hello, savings. And time to spend your Pulse Cash. Bras are $25 and under. Get 40 to 60% off family outerwear, up to 50% off fleece, and save on bed and bath. Plus, get Pulse Cash. Plus, free store pickup. Pulse.
What is something?
I was training for the Olympics, and unfortunately I got injured and didn't make the team. I ate and drank everything in sight.
I did anything and everything that I thought would get me like that.
What you doing
And
now?
it never worked.
And then I tried new.
And then I tried new. And new taught me how to change my habits a little by little.
They say it's based on a cognitive behavioral approach. I just say it works.
Visit Noom.com and lose the weight for good.
How's it taste? So big, crispy, and cheesy. And I just want to keep eating it.
Snap. So good we may run out of cheese.
No privé. For the night. Put the lungs out. Shut up. Hardwood floors. At least Geico makes it easy to bundle our renters and car insurance.
Yeah, helping us save even more.
Well, it's gonna be
Bundling made easy. Go to
doing the
goddamn.com.
nails and a mukbang. So yeah, y'all can watch me eat some. So.
On new age, now on demand.
In 1992, the Riverside County Sheriff's Department were investigating a double homicide that occurred near Lake Matthews, and there were several other cases. We had a spike in crime.
There were a series of carjackings and shootings all throughout western Riverside County.
While there had been an uptick in shootings in the area, there was no reason at that time for the detectives to think that there was a crime spree occurring.
Get out of there!
A lot of people put a lot of time into this case, but we just kept running into dead ends.
Well, let's do it.
On November 25th, 1992, the day before Thanksgiving, about 7:30 in the evening, I was informed that we had a possible
Take this grid
homicide
out
in the San
because
Mateo Canyon
it is
area.
made because I might squeeze some.
Upon my
I'm about to go be
arrival
up on
at
that.
the scene, I noticed that there was a silver Dodge mini truck. In the bed of the truck, we found a male victim. He was dressed in motorcycle attire, lying on his back, and there was a motorcycle parked on the right-hand side of the truck. Upon examining the victim, we saw that there was a hole under his chin and then an exit wound on the back of the helmet. The injury underneath the chin was obviously a shotgun round of some sort. It was something that was fired close to the victim. It definitely had a lot of firepower to it.
He also had numerous other gunshot wounds throughout his torso, which looked to be from a small caliber handgun.
It appears that this was some sort of overkill, that somebody was angry with him. As we examine the area around the body, we find some casings, as well as a red piece of plastic, a material that appears to be from a shotgun round.
When investigators looked through the truck, it appeared to have
Make sure you like, comment, and
as if
subscribe.
somebody were looking for something to steal.
We did not find a wallet on the victim, so we're thinking he was robbed.
Dang!
The fact that he had been shot
And
numerous
come back
times,
report.
and
See,
that
if
murder
we
was
don't run
committed
it.
in a very remote area. It started to look like a double homicide up on the hilltop.
I speak to the gentleman who had initially reported the death. He informs me that the victim is Jose Aragon.
The man who had called the case in, he had been there earlier in the morning watching Jose Aragon ride his motorcycle. Later, he saw him laying in the back of the truck, realized he was dead, and called 911.
Our main focus at the time was the vehicle itself, the red plastic shotgun round, and the casing.
Stop.
That was the only evidence found at the scene. The following day, Thanksgiving, I had to get notice to the family. I go to the house and I talk to Jose's mother and Jose's father and tell them that their son is deceased.
Oh.
You can see the pain on
Udi.
their face at the time.
Do you want it or not?
We learned that Jose Aragon was 22 years old. He was a college senior in engineering, and he was supposed to be studying that day, but decided to take the day off from school.
He was prepping for a motorcycle competition that was supposed to take place on Saturday.
He was a competitive rider, won lots of trophies, and so he went out to the area and practiced his tricks.
Pick it up, throw it away.
Here you got a college student just starting his ride, and he's just out for enjoyment, and he loses his life. You know, that's just tough. It weighs on you. As I talked to the parents, I learned he had no lifestyle issues or other things that would lead him to become a victim of a homicide. I asked the mother, did Jose have an ATM card in his wallet? And she said he did.
She agreed that she would check with Jose's bank and see if there had been any activity on that card.
Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, during the autopsy, it was determined that Jose Aragon had been shot 11 times, once with a 28 shotgun.
The other bullets throughout Jose's body were .22 caliber. This was the same caliber as was used in the Lake Matthews double homicide, but it's a very common caliber.
Some additional red plastic material was removed from the victim, which the coroner identified as being that from a sabot round.
Sabot means shoe. And these are the shoes that the slug is contained in.
That is a very unusual round. I've never experienced any other homicides that use that particular round.
The problem was, we don't know if it's a spree or if it's separate people who were out there just shooting people. We didn't know what was going on.
On November 30th, 1992, I got off my shift as a patrol sergeant. Got in my car and started to drive home. And suddenly, right behind me and to the left, a little white car, headlights and all. They were right dead on my ass. This was just shortly after 4 a.m. I pulled over to the right shoulder of the road, and the driver did the same. Saw somebody get out of the passenger side of the white car. As he approached my car, I caught the reflection of moonlight onto the barrel of the shotgun. Mentally, I said, this is not going to be fun. Normally, I would have had my gun. I left it at the station. One of the rare times that I ever did it. He told me to get out of the car. I said, you know, nobody's got to get hurt. I got out of the car gently. The gunman said, give me your wallet. And I threw the wallet and it landed on the ground at his feet. And I repeated, nobody's got to get hurt. And from the car, my right, the white car, the driver said, kill him. My brain said fight or flight, and I was in no position whatsoever to fight. And so I started to make the motion to run, and that's when the gun went off.
Everyone makes mistakes. But what if life was as forgiving as the General? You're in, and the General will cover you, even with a less than perfect driving record.
Smell that? Smells like a stage.
Get online, go to the General and say something.
Get comfortable anywhere and spread germs everywhere. Wherever they rest, protection. Nothing kills more viruses, including the COVID-19 virus, on more surfaces than Lysol disinfectant spray. Lysol, what it takes to protect.
Gigi's mashed potatoes. And Steph's apple pie. Even if your loved ones can't make it for the holidays, their dishes can still bring it to the table. It's gonna be great. McCormick, by your side for over 130 holiday seasons.
And thank you very much for letting us become just a little part of your holiday. And we sincerely hope that Tiffany's sauce might make your holiday just a little bit brighter. Happy holidays to you.
The only sandwich, so sweet, salty, and savory, it decides when to be popular. The McRib, the most important sandwich of the year.
Plus is our most holistic program ever. Get more of what you need to help you lose weight. More simplicity with what's in your fridge, which suggests meals based on what you have. More motivation with on-demand workout classes. More freedom with over 300 zero-point foods. And new tools to boost your mood and help keep you hydrated. Get more what you need to help you lose weight. The new MyWW Plus, more holistic, more personalized, more weight loss.
Lose weight on us this winter. Get 3 months free. Ends January 4th.
This is the clear one. Yeah, this is the clear, so I'm gonna use the clear one.
Cream and protection with an
I'm gonna
SPF
go
50.
away with
3
that
products
powder.
in 1 bottle in 1 step. Choose vitamin C or hyaluronic acid.
So,
Healthier looking skin in just 1 step. New Garnier Green Lab Serum Cream by Garnier Natural.
Come here. Come here. What's your red? What's in your hand? Give it to me.
oh, cigarette butt.
Tori down. Get this little girl. Yeah.
No, come on.
Go in there with Tori.
Don't come back out.
In the early 90s, Riverside County was dealing with a murderous crime spree. On November 30th, 1992, when Ontario Police Sergeant John Felsenberger is coming home from work in the early morning hours, he is carjacked and shot.
But let me just add the big screen really quick. Cause we don't love
When the
it
shotgun
when you
went
know.
off and the round hit me, I dropped to my knees and put my hands on the ground for support, and everything kind of slows down. The gunman grabbed my wallet, got my car, and drove past me. I saw the blood on my hand and said, I can't stay here. I got up and staggered to the first house on my left, which is about 30 to 40 feet. I banged on the door, and then I sat down. And someone came to the door, and he says, who's there? And I said, I'm a police officer. I've been shot. I can't breathe. Call 911. I knew that my chest had to be completely destroyed, and I'd maybe die.
And it's a very good deal because it was a law enforcement officer.
If it can happen to a professional law enforcement officer, it makes you feel like it can happen to anybody.
We had everybody out there. Sergeant Felsenberger had been transported to the hospital, and his red 1991 Geo Metro was stolen. So we put out an 8-yard all-points report statewide, being on the lookout for the Geo Metro.
There were no cases, shoe prints, nothing. No evidence was found at the scene.
I started hitting the neighborhood to find out what, if anybody heard anything, but it was coming up pretty dry at that time. And then we learned Felsenberger had survived the gunshot.
When I woke up after surgery, our detectives started asking me questions, and I'm providing what information I can. It was back out, partner 18 to 20. They asked me what kind of car it was. I told them it looked like a white Toyota. Got a newer model.
We also learned in the hospital there was some red plastic that was removed from Sergeant Felsenberger's body.
It was very similar to the red plastic removed from Jose Aragon's wound. And this was a huge piece of evidence. It gives us strong reason to believe that these crimes may have been connected.
A few hours later, within the city limits of Moreno Valley, a patrol lieutenant found Sergeant Felsenberger's 1991 red Geo Metro.
What time is it?
The
location and
6:30.
start searching for any type of physical evidence. And we found several fingerprints
That's the
and
base coat in there. That's the base coat. Top
I
coat.
was notified by one of our forensic people at my
This
office
is the
that we found
stuff
a
to go in
decayed
here.
shoe impression.
This can go in
I
here.
had similar shoe prints at Lake Matthews, crime scene several months prior to the self-murder shooting. That's what put our two cases
What?
together.
What's wrong with
Criminals
you?
also matched the red piece of plastic shotgun material that was found at both the
This one.
adult murder
I don't know which one you're going to. I just put in Sunny Nails,
Oregon home.
nails, and then I'll open tomorrow. Open Monday,
So we began linking the
9 to
cases.
7.
They started to realize that these incidents were part of a much bigger crime spree.
No, can you throw this
we
stuff?
realized it was going to take a little bit more investigating
You need
on
this
all our
powder?
parts to try and find out who the suspects are. We got to find these guys or the
I
body
think the
counts going to
container.
go up.
I
Everything
don't
just
want the
kind of
powder.
started to
I
click.
want it. Why? Huh? I can do it. Want another nail? No.
I was contacted by Jose Oregon's mother. She learned that her son's ATM card had in fact been used the same day of his death. It was used around 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So I went to the bank where the card
I did use this one
told me
earlier.
that they
Yeah, I
had
can do my own nail real
cameras.
quick. I
At
don't
the
know
time,
how, because
only
you're
a
still
few
using
banks
it.
had them. Fortunately, they did.
Not the stuff I
The
need.
bank manager told us there was a portion of the
But I be
day
using
or
stuff
the day
that I
before
need.
that the videotape wasn't working. And I'm thinking, don't be that day. And he dials in the video machine.
Say hi,
to the specific time
Shanice.
period, and when he looks up
Her
the
name's
time,
Shanice.
Papa, you finna get back by here?
flash an image. He backs it up, and you see that, hey, you do have an image. You have just basically a
But you
side
know if you can
profile
spool that,
of
it's
the
glued to the
individual
tape.
and it's a black
It ain't glued to the tape. Can you put that over there?
Photograph showed a male wearing a ball cap on which were visible the letters L-I and
Can you put that over there?
It could be either a white male or it could be a Hispanic male. And we know at that time we have a big break.
It'd be funny if you're not recording.
We're thinking
47
maybe
minutes.
the perpetrator using the
Yeah,
victim's
I can go to an hour
ATM card just shortly after.
if I wanted to. But I don't.
I'll put this up.
We're going to get the
Oh, that's what you were talking about.
They surprised the brothers.
The two
You
brothers
know that this barely even work.
scared and went shoot it out.
Hey, you want to buy some not buy some sauce, some ice cream. I'm trying to call, but that phone isn't working.
No, I'm gonna go and make you some.
I'm going to look out and on that while we're there.
The king of Wakanda.
I'm gonna go now.
USA.
Only pay?
Y'all, it don't drive enough. I'm just trying to like. I did add one of these though.
To the next. Try User Advanced Repair and switch. It doubles your
But don't you know we can actually put these on our own ears
So
and do it ourselves.
it'll be a different story. User recommended and used by dermatologists.
Where you find that thing at?
This, yeah. It's on the tape right there. You can read it.
Finish wrinkled skin in just 2 days. New Quick Corrector Lotion, only from Gold Bond. Shampoo your skin.
Okay, it just turned off.
With me, the possibilities are endless.
Oh, I'm not gonna need the jail one. You what? You can do your own?
With Townhouse.
Huh? No, I'm talking about like on your fingers.
All other cheeseburgers feel like. And now the breakfast baconator, we're shaking and waking up your breakfast. Bringing that big baconator.
What is this?
What is what?
Whatever their sensitive skin gets into, get it out with all free clear.
Oh, Scarlet, chip. I didn't know that was down there.
But the wife did talk about goddamn bread. And then London,
Try it
I said,
now.
y'all need
All
one
free
more
clear.
thing
The
here,
number one
you got it,
detergent
but
product for
no,
sensitive skin.
Everyone wants on the Black
5G America's been waiting for.
Verizon 5G is where's the thing that works?
Now, get one of our best 5G phones on
It's
us when
off.
you
I
buy
checked it
one,
out.
and get $500 when you switch. Plus, select unlimited plans include Disney
Oh, I forgot to cut it.
100% obsessed with The Mandalorian.
I watch Fox Sports.
And right now, gaming the whole family will love is also on us. This is 5G from America's most reliable network.
Yeah, he put me out the other night.
Oh, yeah, for what?
Cause I asked him,
Turn the right lid every time. Try the Rubbermaid Easy Find Lid System.
He had already had an attitude with this dude. The way he was talking to this black dude. And dude was like, damn, you can say that shit better than what you say.
Experience.
And so,
Yeah, you can raise your credit scores instantly with Experian.
Did you just glue that on there? Yeah. No, you didn't, because the glue not even out.
Boost your credit scores instantly, free with Fix. Download the Experian app now.
That glue is dangerous. Like, look at my finger.
You finna make you some coffee for it? Yeah. You really thought I was playing with you? Man, that's not coffee size. It's bigger than that.
It was obvious they weren't going to stop, and somebody else was.
No, take it off. I'm not just playing.
We believe someone involved had used
Dude, it's turned off.
at a bank and had taken a photo.
Can you turn me? I can't.
You get the photo.
I'm gonna be mad if you start spinning.
We use the ATM card and we start putting together some flyers so we can try and get this person identified.
Y'all, we was actually supposed to go to the skate area.
Flyer with
But we didn't have no
from the
ride.
ATM to other detectives.
You and me and this crazy little girl
I
supposed
get a
to be
call
going
from
to the
the
skate area.
detective from Riverside Station, and he says, Terry, we have somebody here who says he has information on your investigation. They make an arrest.
They gotta watch this baby for $200.
The individual starts looking at the flyer and said, "Can you
Who
look
watching
at
the baby
this
for
person?"
$200? Me.
What
That's,
baby?
no, that's Scully. I can tell you the name. I can tell you the baby name. Cause you probably wanna go over there too.
I don't even know the person who. I don't even know the mama, the dad. You know what I mean. I really don't.
Him as Jose. We run a computer check on
You using
Jose.
this? Yes.
Nothing in his background was outstanding. He wasn't
I'm gonna
involved
cut
in
it
any
first.
other
Where the thing at? Just
homicides or shootings.
Y'all I can just do is just
We
push
get
it
the
out over
information
here.
of where he resides. We knock on the front door. An individual, bank bill, opens the door. There's Jose wearing the hat from the
What again?
ATM
I
photo.
can't please get the thing on.
I know at that time I have
If you
the
want it
guy.
on there, come
I
get it
know
on.
he is the one that's responsible.
You're
for
literally
these
right there.
ATM card. They take it down
I'm gonna
to
cut
the
it off.
station and they
You
start
need it, don't you?
Please, can you? Okay, dude. Why did you take the nail off?
I didn't.
So why is it that long then?
denies knowing anything about the murder of Jose
He's
Aragon.
doing something.
We cannot get him to open up. So we showed him the
Sorry.
photograph of himself using the
You need something from
ATM card.
this store down the street.
Hello.
What up?
That is
Cut it out, cut it out. Right there.
He realizes that he has no other avenue, and we finally get him to open up.
okay, put it on. Do it. Look at the right here.
He identifies two other individuals, Orlando Romero and Chris Self, and their brother.
That's what I asked you. What to do this? Oh, let's just do this, taking it off.
Jose told us that Christopher Self and Orlando Romero do 2 to 3 crimes a week.
You straight, Granny?
As the interview goes on with Jose, he's telling us detailed information as to the
You want a jacket?
role of
I know.
brothers, Christopher Self and Orlando Romero, and what transpired in these violent and senseless events.
Cause I'm seeing it go.
So you ain't said what kind of chip?
October 12, 1992, he was with Orlando.
You ain't said what kind of chip?
They were driving around all night looking for somebody to carjack or rob.
What's the thing?
He said they had 2 firearms with them.
Orlando kept saying, somebody's gonna die tonight. Says, no, it won't be one of us. No.
Did you not go grab it?
I wasn't gonna give you the microwave, right? There's no way. I couldn't kill somebody just for nothing.
Romero told
You don't
them
reach
about
that
this
far. You
spot
said, do
up
it
on
just
the
tangle.
hilltop where people like
No,
hang
how
out
you
and
go to
party. And so they go up there.
It's not tangled.
Up this hill, up the top of the mountains. We saw
They find 24-year-old Timmy Jones and 26-year-old Joey Mann.
Orlando.
No, it's not. Go ahead and do it. And then just do it that way, like that.
What are nails at? Give me some good from out of the box. Oh, give me some. Y'all, I use ones because the zeros to me.
Pull it back down, it can come up the front, and then pull it up.
Okay, I'm home.
Then have it a glue. I'm going to get my nails done with you. Who buying some?
I'm not even paying for my own. What are you talking about, Mama?
And Chase stumbled down the hill.
I think this time I'm gonna want mine. Or maybe like a. Where the cut is at? Yeah, I wish I knew how to cut it.
About halfway down the hillside.
Like that.
Jose painted a picture of 2 brothers who were so cold and calculating and so...
Oh, yeah, like I did. Yeah.
It seemed like they were killing for the sake of killing. And
Look, see that?
it was only going to get worse.
I don't even know. I know I need. I don't even know what thing's at. It's on the table somewhere.
Really? I did. Okay, I'm on by. Only pay?
You gonna use it? I need to just finish this.
You can wait. Mama! It's mine! You can wait!
It makes our Lipton tea leaves better, which makes the smooth tea taste better. And time spent together, even better. And drinking Lipton every day can help support a healthy heart.
3 topping pizzas for just $7.99 each. And with Domino's car-size delivery, you can conveniently stay in your car while you do it. Just pull up, check in online, and we'll quickly bring your food to you.
Thank you.
So you don't have to get out to get carry out. Like anywhere.
Huh?
Stay in the driver's seat with Domino's car-size delivery. Upgrading network Everyone are first to bring you 5G nationwide. And now the Sprint is part of T-Mobile. We're turning up the speed.
She said she get it if it's yours, but then just wait till I get done using it first. You making Shinto? Slinto?
Slinto nails.
Get out! Don't, you better not. Look at me. Look at me.
Get her off the table.
Do not touch nothing.
She gonna think you playing. No, to get her off the table before she touch it. I'm not playing. I know this been on for an hour.
Like no other. I need a lip routine that's just right for you. Chapstick has you covered. Chapstick, put your lips first.
Say ew. Say ew. Say. Do it. Do it. Say Boom, 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 boom.
Y'all up for the change the.
Romero and Christopher Self
Hold on.
killed Timmy Jones and Joey Mans.
Ain't no more. Gone. Go get my phone. Go get my phone. It's in the room. Go get it. Go get it.
Drove to this motorcycle area and they parked. And they could
But I think yours doesn't drive with this clear though. If you use the clear.
doing tricks on his motorcycle. Oh, your trips are really cool.
You don't-
know, that's really neat. In the meantime,
Golly.
is back at their car.
This one just got me.
So fires one shot with the 22 caliber rifle.
Thank you.
And strikes Aragon in the right more abdomen.
Aragon reels a little bit, and Romero pushes him into the back of the truck. They find a wallet with the ATM card. Aragon ATM code. Once Aragon gives the ATM code, Self pulls out the 22 pistol, points it at Aragon, and empties it into his side.
After that, Christopher Self walked up with the shotgun.
Why the fuck is he burning me? Like, what the freak? Cause it's cut off all the way.
No, just go kick burn you.
The last one was on November 30th when John Felsenberger is shot.
That's how I told you that my nail clip was hurting. Y'all, look what she be doing to my thing.
Look.
What? What's mama getting mad for my nails looking like this?
Jose stated that Orlando Romero was more the one calling the shots. He liked to decide who they were going to rob, who lived and who died.
Get out of there. Why you changed the color?
A lot bigger than
She ain't changed the color.
anticipated.
He
The
just
color been like that.
admitted everything.
But she ain't no swine.
Get go.
There
It's
were
not
two
on.
other attempted murders
I had to turn it
in
off because it
Mead
couldn't run.
Valley. There was a carjacking of a Pathfinder in Moreno Valley. A young man
Y'all, I gotta switch the thing
kidnapped and
out.
carjacked, and multiple other crimes.
Somebody kidnapped something. Oh,
But the brothers were the main movers in this crime spree. They're the ones who do these.
Cause she was gonna get knocked the freak out. Bye. Bye bye.
Two brothers primarily responsible
Bye bye.
no, you mixing it on the table. I said you
Bye.
mixing it on the table.
No.
Well, I look like that.
Stop. Bye bye.
Confession, we need to verify the information. Jose Colas, Chris Self, and Orlando Romero lived in a house directly behind his.
Romero and Self were not there, but we got search
He wasn't even
warrants
crying
for
for
the
you.
house.
We
You better get your
located
phone.
some stolen property from the crimes that had occurred over the last couple of months.
It appears that Jose's
I gotta brush too.
information
Like,
is correct.
brush it off.
We need to find them and get
I'm not
them.
done with it.
We don't know where this brothers, Chris Purcell and Orlando Romero, have gone. They're out in the wind at this point in time. Jose said that they always had guns in their possession, so we know that these individuals are armed.
No, this is so my toenails.
We had the suspects photographed
Stop.
on the DMV, and we had the local and California news.
Nudie, get it for a waist. Nudie. What was that? The super glue, get it. Oh, it burned my toe. What the freak?
And his brother Christopher, age 18.
We're contacting various family members, chasing the various leads that we have.
What were the... That's super glue.
Were put in on this. There was very little time.
Oh, it didn't waste.
It
wasted on my feet.
We've been going for almost 3 days straight before we get
Junk
to the
was
next
hot.
An informant had indicated that Romero himself were holed up in an abandoned house, and the word was that
Then he's on
they
a
were
chair.
going to flee the country and go to Mexico.
Police go
You
to the
did it,
area,
not me.
and we get the news that both brothers are inside.
Stop. Before I slap you.
We're going to get a SWAT team to do the initial takedown.
They mobilize,
Stop.
they go to the house.
What you say?
We breach the door. As they make entry into the house, they surprise both Christopher Self and Orlando Romero, who are standing in the kitchen area.
Both individuals had firearms. One had a 45 caliber handgun, and the other one had a 22.
They order him down.
You better not.
We just wanted to get him in custody. These are some vicious characters.
Two brothers were so cold, calculating, and sociopathic.
I should read this story. This.
So you have an issue with our neighbor's fencing?
You can start over, Nudie. This was right there. It can't come up. Oh, hurry up. It can't come up if I use.
At least Geico makes
Use what?
bundling our home and car insurance easy.
Which helps us save even more.
Hey, sir,
Yeah, we wasted everything today.
For bundling made easy, go to geico.com.
Jalapeno. It's sour cream and onion. The spicy nacho snack.
I'm trying to stack noodles, but I don't have
I just gotta do is take a
Cool. And my dad's playlist.
all I gotta do is take a scrub when I get
There's a
finished.
sugar stack for everyone, so
I'm finna get down. Okay, y'all, these meals are coming off. Yep.
And now with the Breakfast Baconator, we're shaking and waking up your breakfast, bringing that big bacon energy all day long. So get some Wendy's and always be baconating.
Guess what, Nudie?
Cleaning tough bathroom and kitchen messes with sprays and wipes can be a struggle. There's an easier way. Try Mr. Clean Magic Eraser.
And then
Just
can't get that off my finger.
squeeze and erase tough messes like bathtub soap scum and caked on grease from oven doors. Now Mr. Clean Magic Eraser comes in disposable sheets. They're perfect for icky messes on stovetops, in microwaves, and all over the house. For an amazing clean, try Mr. Clean Magic Eraser and Mr. Clean Magic Eraser sheets.
I'm finna do my toe though. Can I do my toe?
Listen, laugh, and dig in.
No, not for your
Where new
toes.
normals are created, where spontaneity leads to new traditions.
What can I please do you?
Watch them grow up.
No, it's gonna be fine. I swear to God, if I take that
And delicious whole grain goodness to enjoy. Your way. Cup or bowl and nourish it together. Quaker Oats.
Stop!
It's here.
It's time for me to put this stuff up, so so now I'm finna really get down this.
Come in for your game piece and instantly win an awesome prize, like free e-tickets, gameplay, and treats.
Whoa.
Kids will even
I'm finna go get the scrub.
in some winter.
Oh, can I please? No. Do you want to let up?
The power of a syrup, the moisture of a cream, and protection of an SPF 30. 3 products in 1 bottle, 1 step. Choose vitamin C.
Bye bye.
Hyaluronic acid. Healthier looking skin. In just 1 step. New Garnier Green Lab Serum
December of '92, detectives learned two brothers, Romero and Self, are holed up in an abandoned house in the Riverside area. They are involved in a murderous.
Where you at? Come on.
SWAT hit the house. A confrontation occurs between team members and Christopher Self and Orlando Romero.
There was some resistance. Romero and Self tried to run, and they were tackled and subdued.
Eventually, they were handcuffed.
I'm going to change it up in a minute. Well, right now.
I noticed right away that Christopher Self was wearing the BK shoes that I was looking for. And Terry Hudson and I both looked at each other and nodded and said, there's our BKs.
As this is going on, a huge crowd is beginning to develop outside of the house.
I was watching a TV show when it was interrupted to the news going live to the actual site where the two brothers were being held in a abandoned house.
The scene is unlike anything I've seen before in my life. There's a couple hundred people at least on either side of the street. And they want vengeance.
Walk the brothers down the driveway towards our plane units. We hear and see this huge crowd erupting
About to soaking in his
in
finger,
cheers
probably
and
from there.
chants.
My dad was there. He was yelling, that was my son. And I hope that they kill you like you killed my son, you son of a bitches.
I made a lot of arrests over my career, but I never experienced anything like that. Just sent chills down your spine.
It was such a relief knowing that we were safe and that they were off the street.
By the time we got to interviewing Romero and Self, of course, they knew the jig was up. But it was very clear they were going to stick together and try to fight this out.
We filed 3 counts of murder on both Christopher Self and Orlando Romero, along with other counts of carjacking, attempted homicide, robberies, and burglary, and vandalism on these brothers.
They were crimes that were done for no particular reason. They were like thrill kills, and we decided that we were going to seek the death penalty. Jose, the informant, ended up pleading guilty to the crimes that he committed and was sentenced to 51 years to life with the provision that he be housed in an out-of-state prison. There were so many crimes. We worked on the case for about 2 years.
There's a lot of stuff she got to do. You need to start, if you learn, you start getting all of this shit up. Look all around that couch.
Because there were some things that could not be introduced to Romero's jury and some things that could not be introduced to Self's jury. We had a very strong case, and both juries found their respective defendant guilty. Killer siblings who are working together to commit these just atrocities. It was just pure evil.
You have families that have been completely shattered by these 2 brothers who were just on this unexplainable spree.
There is no words, there is nothing anyone could ever offer you or say.
Ooh, Gary said pick that up. I mean, Mama said pick that up.
That
What'd I do?
try to remember them with smiles, keep their memory
Do
alive.
you know what time it's
The fact that 2 brothers did this is
She needs to be cleaning up now then.
For real, you ought to see how much stuff she got down. Instead of get up everything but what you using.
They took him. And it's very, very difficult.
No, you gotta
because
help
you never
too.
get a piece
And if you was over there, whatever you had, you get up too. Move them.
Laying there.
Move them.
My dad is kneeling. That was the first time I had ever seen him cry.
No, you had.
They had a tumultuous marriage.
They're me yelling and
Look at all this stuff by y'all, by your feet, on the side of the couch.
Is you still using this stuff?
He sees Lisa.
Yes, you need it to do those things. Now, that's the only thing I did have, to be real honest.
His sister went to the Missouri State Highway Patrol to express their belief that this, in fact, was murder.
She had been having an affair with his boss.
The prosecutor says after he shot his wife, he washed his hands and washed his forearms.
They called us back at noon, started the trial.
I thought they made one of the worst mistakes I'd ever heard of. It was obvious there was something that just wasn't right.
The only thing I've ever wanted was for everyone to hear the truth. I told them that I would fight with everything I had in me. That's the promise I made to him.
And welcome to Dateline, Secrets Uncovered. The holiday season is filled with joy and togetherness. It was the night before Christmas that became a waking nightmare. Right now, and in a flash, everything changed. Did that secret lead to a tragic suicide? Was this murder? Here's Steve Morrison with a crack in everything.
It was his secret that started it. A secret gift. It was Christmas Eve in the year 2006. A little farm not far from a little town called Buffalo, Missouri. And on that farm, in the fine new house Brad and Lisa Jennings had built for their family, the stockings were hung. The children were snug in their beds. And for one thing, with Lisa in the way, Brad couldn't sneak that secret of his into her stocking, which is what started it, the flaring argument, the slamming doors, the sudden silence. Before Amanda woke up to the sound of her dad on 911.
and he's very hysterical. You know, he's crying. Can't really say anything other than "get here quick, get here quick." I heard that 2 or 3 times.
Such a complicated tale with its secrets, lies, shifting loyalty. And here of all places, this throwback to an idealized past.
We hunted mushrooms, we picked up walnuts.
They were inseparable. Brad and his older sister, Marcia.
He was my playmate. We depended on each other.
Marcia became a nurse. Brad ran the farm, the center of their family since 1853. And that Christmas 2006, Brad and Lisa had been married 18 mostly happy years.
We had a fairly good life.
There were 3 kids. Amanda, 16 that Christmas Eve. Dallas, who was 11. Lacey, Lisa's daughter from a first marriage,
I don't know why she not in here helping me. She knows she had most of this stuff.
and as Amanda said, life was good.
We do lots of things when we vacation a lot. Go out and eat. So we were good on that.
Very stable environment.
Cars, especially classic muscle cars and engines. 1970 Chevelle Superstar he'd so carefully restored.
By the time he was 12, he was redoing motors and helping put motors in and out of different vehicles.
So Brad opened a used car dealership.
He was a great people person. I guess that's what you have to be when you deal cars and stuff.
And their mom, Lisa.
Very pretty. She could be really happy and like sort of like the life of the party kind of person.
Yeah, really fun.
Well, Brad ran the farm and his car business. Lisa
worked at a local internet company.
She was really good at it.
And she became like their top employee.
Oh, Lisa was the mom who actually liked video games. With Dallas, mostly video games and movies.
We had a big projector screen that we would put on the wall and like watch movies really big.
Did it seem like a happy household overall?
Yeah.
But of course there is, as Leonard Cohen used to say, a crack in everything. And in the Jennings house, those were some blow-ups. When the mood went dark, kids scattered.
They would fight maybe once every couple weeks or something. Mostly later in the evening, at night, after they'd been drinking, they'd be yelling and maybe slamming doors, things like that. But just arguing about anything, nothing.
I never really thought too much about it.
Now it was that calamitous Christmas Eve, 2006. As always, there'd been a happy dinner celebration with Brad's side of the family.
Christmas Eve, we would go to my grandma's. They're in town.
And then, back home, games and stocking stuffing, and of course,
I wake up a little early and open all the presents.
Lisa had no idea that Brad had bought her a $3,500 diamond ring. Got the kids to help him pick it out. Back from Grandma's, he waited for his chance to hide it in her stocking. But Lisa kept fiddling on the computer when the kids were playing a board game.
We just played downstairs for a while and then eventually went up to our room.
It was well after midnight when they heard the raised voices downstairs.
Everyone was yelling and everything. A normal fight like they would always have.
And then a door slammed, which meant that Brad had gone out to his workshop to cool down. But Lacey, home for the holiday, was furious. Another fight, and this one on Christmas Eve, no less. And as usual, over some stupid little thing, she was done.
And so my sister tried to go downstairs and get into it with her. I think one of the last things I remember my mom was saying was something like, I would never disrespect my parents that way. Yeah, I just couldn't believe they'd fight on Christmas.
Then more door slamming, and Lacey was out of there.
She went back to her house in Buffalo.
So by the time she left, your dad was outside in the workshop alone. We didn't know where he was.
Well, he was outside. He does that a lot. He'd go outside and go out to his shop.
So Amanda sighed, closed her eyes, drifted off. And then sometime after 1:30 a.m., that loud, frantic sound, her father on 911. She ran downstairs to her parents' bedroom.
I opened the door and, I see her laying there and my dad is kneeling next to her. And as soon as I open the door, he gets up and kind of pulls me out of the room and he's hugging me and crying.
Her mother was dead. Of that, there was no doubt.
Hurry up. What had happened in that bedroom?
I didn't realize the gravity of it. I thought there'd been an accident and she was on the way to the hospital.
The truth would be much worse. Do you have any inkling that Brad might have something to do with it? When Dateline Secrets Uncovered continues.
Their families have suffered without answers for years. Change that.
The Jane Doe Murders, a one-night special event, Sunday, January 3rd at 7, only on Oxygen. True crime 24/7.
You made it. My job is to help new homeowners who have turned into their parents.
I'm having a big lunch and then just a snack for dinner.
We're using a speakerphone in the store. Is that a good idea? One of the ways I do that is to get them out of the home.
You're looking for a crowd brush. Gardens, can you ask for your help?
No. We all see it. We all see it.
Yes, Blair. Okay.
Well, Lou, Progressive can protect you from becoming your parents, but we can't protect your home and auto when you bundle with us.
You don't know him. Just about sleeps in her capable.
But I'm scared Timmy's not up for this trip. He has a bad history with blood clots, and being in a car for 8 hours is kind of risky, but we have to do it. got to the van and she's already out of breath, exhausted. She looks dead. What's going on? Is it your nerves or I'm worried about Tammy. This is her last chance. I honestly think that the only thing gonna save Tammy now is to have the surgery. If Tammy don't make it to Atlanta, that's pretty much the end.
Introducing the cheddar broccoli bake from Birdseye. A creamy, gooey, melty, deliciously decadent way to eat broccoli. Yes, please. Birdseye, a new twist on veggies.
Hey, it's me, your dry skin. I'm craving something we're missing. The ceramides and CeraVe. They help restore my natural barrier so I can lock in moisture. We've got to have each other's backs. CeraVe, now the #1 dermatologist recommended skincare brand. We've always done things our own way, charted our own paths. I wasn't going to just back down from moderate to severe rheumatoid arthritis. Psoriatic arthritis wasn't going to change who I am. When I learned that my joint pain could be permanent joint damage, I asked about Enbrel. Enbrel helps relieve joint pain and helps stop permanent joint damage. Plus, Enbrel helps skin get clearer in psoriatic arthritis. Ask your doctor about Enbrel so you can get back to your true self. Enbrel may lower your ability to fight infections. Serious, sometimes fatal events, including infections, tuberculosis, lymphoma, other cancers, nervous system and blood disorders, and allergic reactions have occurred. Tell your doctor if you've been someplace where fungal infections are common, or if you're prone to infections, have cuts or sores, have had hepatitis B, have been treated for heart failure, or if you have persistent fever, freezing, bleeding, or paleness. Don't start Enbrel if you've had an infection. Visit Enbrel.com to see how your joint damage could relax. Enbrel, eligible patients may pay as little as $5 per month.
We make USAA insurance for veterans like Martin. When a hailstorm hit, he needed his insurance to get done right away. USAA, what you're made of, we're made for.
A little taste of home is worth sharing.
I have my first bowlfuls and a fried chicken mashed potato forkful, for which I'm thankful.
Good thing because we have a free sample.
I think that's wonderful.
Oh.
For diabetic dry skin, #1 for psoriasis and relief, and #1 for eczema and relief. Shampoo your skin.
Grubhub Perks give you deals on all the food that makes you look Get the food you love. Perks. Love what you love. This is Kate.
Granny, there's a pie not coming up off the table.
Now she uses a capful of TheraBreath Healthy Smile Oral Rinse to give
This thing not coming up off the table. It's not glue, but it's that stuff what you put the nails on with. The acrylic powder.
To reveal some jaw-dropping revelations. Did you slip and streamers?
I heard that.
I want to go back to 3 years ago. I want to go back that
I got this mountain bike for only $11.
Dealpatch.com.
This is kind of where it all started. This is where the first owners were awarded.
These in this building are all facts. This is the truth. This is integrity. There is a hero inside every student. When they do this to the right thing, the right time for the wrong reason, and let that light shine. There's a hero in all of us.
messy, or hide along the bathroom. For growing healthier looking skin in just one step. New Garnier Green Lab Serum Cream by Garnier Naturally.
I'll make it amazing. A special premiere of Restaurant Impossible Thursday, January 7th at 9 on Food Network. With new episodes coming every week only on Discovery Plus.
We have record high gold prices. You know what's driving you rich now? We never will.
Gold Rush, the richest season yet. Friday at 8 on Discovery.
What's going on? Is it your nerves? What is it? I'm really worried about this trip. Tammy has a bad history with blood clots, and it's 8 hours to Atlanta. So, sitting in the car that long could be really bad for her. If she throws a blood clot on the way to Atlanta, Tammy could die. My stomach's hurting. From that food last night. All that grease. Yeah, I felt a little nauseous myself. We had a big dinner at the buffet last night. I'm beginning to think that was a bad idea. Are you ready to do this? I guess. It's probably very dangerous for me to be trying to go on this trip. But it's even more dangerous if I don't go. This is
We're still gonna get all this stuff up on the floor.
Out of the house, not in a medical van, at 6 or 7.
I'm just gonna sweep it up.
Am you ready? Yeah.
Go buy
I
something.
feel so relieved that Tammy's good to go. Road trip, baby. Never been to Georgia, can't wait. I am ready to start my life. I'm ready to have my baby. I'm ready just to be happy. First thing we did, crack open the snacks.
The one back there in the bag.
In the past, some of the snacks we would have got will consist of snack cakes, chips, soda pops, candy bars, cookies. The only deal was I can't reach my hand in the bag. Now that we're trying to eat healthy, I try to get like beef jerky, trail mix. You ate all that. Maybe I don't snacks. So we decided to pull over and get some barbecue. We'll make this better if it has some cheese in it. Dude! Did you know they don't make one bite?
I'll give you a horny. Damn. Say him. Almost at somebody's side. Sorry about that, baby. I'm way down.
What's that fingernail remove? Who's that fingernail remove?
Me?
Where's that? That.
No, that's alcohol.
Who's the fingernail? I got that shit. That's crazy glue on my hand. I did something with some crazy glue on my hand. That alcohol ain't gonna get it off.
Well, one of them you put on there with that start burning one time.
No.
It did start smoking burning. Some you got on your hand and trying to get it off.
You can put your finger like dip it down in there. Won't nothing happen
I
to
don't
it.
remember this thing that you're talking about. Well, this ain't doing it.
I'm sorry, I'm trying.
I'm trying to supposed to get crazy glue off.
It's like, really? We're about an hour away from
You
Atlanta.
do. You get it off too. The alcohol was Got it all too. See? That shit drive you crazy, that glue on your hand. That shit make you nuts.
I'll drop it back in the bag.
What are you in pain at?
What happened?
The pain in my knee from being locked in place hurts so bad. And I have to try to reposition myself.
You could actually sit this right behind you on the seat. I can get right back in there.
You gotta get this off the table.
So Tammy could lay down. You ready to go now?
Yeah.
I know it didn't look too comfortable, but laying in that blurry van was a lot better.
Ready to go?
Oh, my head! That's alright.
Is there a line out there? I'm hoping a lot of people show up to the meet and greet because I don't have any friends in real life.
What if this is it? Like, nobody showed up.
You guys ready to come back?
Yes, ma'am.
Alright. If Dr. Proctor turns me down, I don't know what I'm gonna do next.
Granny, did we watch this one before? I think we did.
My parents did too, but I don't think I will have
Some of us, our daily journey is a short one. Save 50% when you pay more pay less when you drive.
Y'all can not see the finished product until I get done. It's been an hour.
It's making real farm-raised chicken. I gotta get my paws on that. It's Frisky's Farm Favorites. With formula.
Feed their fantasy.
Friskies. Look, Frisky's ocean favorites. Yum.
Research shows people remember commercials with nostalgia. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance, here's one to celebrate.
Wow! What'd you get, Ryan?
It's customized home insurance from Liberty Mutual. It customizes our home insurance so we only pay for what we need.
And what did you get, Mike?
I got a bike.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
I always thought it was me, that I was the reason all these diets never worked.
This is genuinely not a temporary fix. There's some serious psychology behind it.
It's funny how much smarter I feel like moving this made me. It's the simple things. Once I understood why I was making those choices, it was easy for me to change those habits, and weight loss came naturally after that.
I've been on Noom for 4 months now. I've lost 27 pounds, and I feel like I got my life back.
Visit Noom.com and lose the weight for good.
I am a long-term care nurse at a rehab and convalescent center. I've always wanted to be a nurse because I always wanted to care for people, knowing that they're happy, knowing that they're safe, and knowing that they're well taken care of. That's my ultimate goal. It's been rough during COVID. The families can't come like they normally could, and you become that family for them. It's about seeing them smile, helping them, caring for them. I wouldn't trade what I do now for anything.
Little Theo's nose had cause for alarm. Ordinary tissues were causing him harm. They left his nose raw to wiping motion, so Dad extinguished the problem with Puffs plus motion. Puffs have up to 50% more lotion to soothe your lows, bringing softness and relief to your sensitive nose. Don't get burned by ordinary tissues like nose in me. Deserves Puffs indeed.
Where's his kitchen and everything?
Your dry skin. I'm craving something we're missing. The ceramides and CeraVe. They help restore my natural barrier so I can lock in moisture. We've got to have each other's backs. CeraVe. Now the #1 dermatologist recommended skincare brand.
Only dish has the Hopper Grey, our most powerful DVR.
Look who's here.
It holds up to 2,000 hours, so you can store seasons
This video been an hour
seasons
long.
of your favorite
3
shows.
hours?
Here's
An
what you
hour.
should read them.
And that's the same video from the nails?
You waited.
I got all the seasons.
Why wouldn't it be? I want to start a whole nother one.
2,000 hours of the shows that bring you together with Dish.
It's like an hour, 45, 30 minutes. You said an hour, 45, 30 minutes. You didn't say an hour, 2:45. I mean, 30 minutes to 45. What? No, dude, this is real hair. I'm telling you, this is real hair. That's because he's a mannequin dog. I'm gonna fly down it anyway. I'm funny going. Huh? I'm just gonna go in the top knot. In a what? A top knot. A top knot ponytail. But I don't like the back part. Cause it feels like. I can try to comb it out real quick. That's mama's.
Time for bed. Oh, there's the hotel.
Oh my God, we're finally here. For a minute there, it was touch and go, but she made it. I'm proud of myself too.
Shanice, hey.
Wait until it's open.
Come out.
It didn't.
Come on now. My knife too.
It's like it's locked on the inside. Pull up.
I came up that nice a little bit. I can work with that.
I thought the hotel was beautiful. I never stayed in something that fancy. I'm so excited I even showed my fans on social media. There's the TV and the couch, the bed, and the bathtub. So beautiful. It's so overwhelming being here.
No, there. We got some ice cream in the freezer. I know, but I've been wanting this kind for like a month.
It's been a long time since I lived on my own. So I haven't now. You got some more now. It's gonna feel like heaven. But at the same time, I'm really nervous. Tomorrow, we going to meet
It's in this fridge.
It's not the pecan pie. Wait, is it? Oh. It's not the pecan pie. I'm just telling you. Cause if it was green, I was finna be say, I'm sorry, but I gave that to my mom.
I don't like to leave Tammy for a long period of time by herself. Because I feel if I'm not there, she could fall.
I can have it.
And it's there to call the ambulance. So we decided to put a wave on her so I can make sure she's okay and have peace of mind myself. I think Tammy thinks it's a little creepy for me to watch her over the baby monitor, but honestly, I know she's safe.
Yeah, she's sweet.
Can't get it out morning because I don't have to stand. Oh.
Right now we're going
Y'all don't have to break
for the
it.
first time, and Lordy, I'm nervous. Being here, it's just
I put it in a slick back
It
ponytail.
means it's actually happening. We're actually doing this. I'm so nervous. Hi, how are you? How are you?
Like a
You guys
party
ready to come
for.
out? Yes,
Party a little bit.
you know we do that a lot, right? We always send each other sandwiches. Our sandwiches. I'm very prepared to hear all the negative things that Dr. Bracken might say. But if Dr. Bracken turns me down, I don't know what I'm going to do next.
All right, ladies, ready to weigh. Who wants to go first?
Want me to go first? Shoes off or?
Your choice.
When I was at the junkyard, the scale said I weighed 406. I'm hoping this time I weigh less.
All right, that's 400.2.
I've always been the skinny sister, so seeing that 400 pounds, I don't know what went wrong.
All right.
Last time I weighed myself on the junkyard scale, I weighed 605. But honestly, I don't think that scale was right.
608.2.
I guess the junkyard scale was right. Plus, I gained 3 pounds.
Hello.
Hey,
How are you guys doing?
good, how are you?
Tammy and Amy, right?
Yes, sir.
And Dr. Proctor.
You got it right on the first time.
Yeah.
Dr. Proctor walked in here, and my first person of him was, he had cold hands.
So tell me about your life.
I'm gonna end this video.
I'm a social media influencer.
I'm gonna
So you do a lot of
end
social media
this
stuff. So you're home a
video,
lot.
so
You get out of the house much?
just put it back in the slick ponytail
No cartilage in her right knee.
call it a day, because my back is hurting a bit.
What kind of other medical issues do you have?
I have a back bladder.
I'm gonna end this video. I'm gonna call it a night because my back is hurting bad.
Okay.
So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to
I got thyroid, I got diabetes.
share this
I wanna have a
video.
baby, and I think my weight is affecting me not to have a baby.
Don't forget to share this video.
No, I just want to be healthy, not
And
like her.
I guess that's all I have to say.
I ain't gonna lie to you. What's wrong with me? It's with the joint.
Oh, and like it up. And I hope a nail artist see this.
There's a little bit of tension in which ways when the sisters began arguing about which one of them was the most unhealthy, which is kind of an unusual argument to have. The reality is they're both really unhealthy and they both really need to have weight loss surgery. We just listed off a whole list of medical problems for both of you, and most of those medical problems are caused by being overweight. And I don't think I have to tell you that if you guys don't lose the weight, and a lot of weight, you're not going to live very long. We've got a long way to go with both of you guys. I'm going to do everything I possibly can to make you guys healthier, but I need some buy-in from you guys. I need to understand that you guys are all in and you're going to make the same kind of commitment, okay? So I'm going to see some weight loss from both of you by the time you come back. Amy, I need to see you lose 25 pounds before I can approve your surgery. Tammy, the weight right now is a 608. I want to see you around 550. All right, that's a tall order. I gave Tammy a much higher weight loss goal because Tammy weighs about twice what Amy does. At her weight, she should be able to drop weight fairly quickly. But if she's not really committed to this lifestyle change, she's going to be a really risky candidate for surgery. So before you go back to Kentucky, I want you to meet with a dietitian. Both of you are going to have to completely change what and how you've been eating.
I've been trying to get her to start eating a little something in the morning. Well, I told us we get home, we're gonna buy groceries. Shut up. That's home. I mean, since I've been living with you.
Going through this with a family member can always be a double-edged sword. I'm a little nervous right now, given their interaction they had in the office today. But my hope is they're going to work things out and they're going to find a way to support each other going forward. You can exercise, and the best thing for you guys if you have access